Hi, I'm Pattu from FreeFinCal. Today, let's discuss an interesting question asked by a reader. Why don't they publish the returns of the dividend option mutual funds? It's now called, um, I need to look it up, IDCW. What is it called now? Income distribution cum capital withdrawal. My God, that's quite a mouthful. They are calling that now because dividends were assumed to be something extra, and they are actually not, because the fund manager is actually removing some money from the net assets of the mutual fund. So the NAV, the net assets of the mutual funds will reduce if a dividend is given. So that's why they call this the grotesque name. But anyway, so why don't they publish it? The reason they don't publish it is because uh, you have to calculate the returns of a dividend option mutual fund by assuming that the dividends are reinvested. Then if you do that, then there will be no difference between a growth option and a dividend option mutual fund. That's the reason why the dividend option funds are returns are not published at all. There's no need to do it. The main reason I'm making this video is many people conveniently make the mistake, particularly stock investors, when they receive a dividend, they will assume it's some payout given to them and calculate XIRR. I mean, XIRR is a classic case of garbage in, garbage out. Just because you get some number, 25%, 35%, doesn't mean that number is right. The inputs have to be right. Now, I'll give you an example of this. Suppose we have a mutual fund and we buy 1 unit of the mutual fund on 1st January 2020. So that is entered as minus 10 in the spreadsheet. That is a purchase. Now on 1st September 2021, the NAV has grown to 15. So that's a plus 15. You will write that's because that will be treated as a redemption, because you want to calculate the return. So you treat that as the current value as redemption and you calculate the XIRR. So that's 27.51%. That's a very simple transaction. Now suppose this is the growth option. Now suppose the dividend option, this is how people do it wrongly. In the case of the dividend option, so again you make the same purchase of minus 10, that is 1 unit. You purchase 1 unit on 1st January 2020. On 1st March 2020, the mutual fund has given a dividend of rupees 2 per unit. So you have got that rupees 2. So what people do is they assume that rupees 2 is given to you in hand. True, it is technically, physically they have given it to you in hand. But if you do that, what will happen is the NAV would have dropped down. The NAV would drop down by little by the amount of the dividend. Now on 1st September 2021, because the NAV has decreased, the NAV is 12.5. In the growth option, the NAV is 15. In the dividend option, the NAV is 12.5. You must have seen this in all dividend option mutual funds. Always the dividend option NAV will be lower, because every time the dividend is offered, the NAV will fall down. So now if I enter this rupees 2 as a payout given to you in hand, the XIRR will be 29.85%. Now, how can you have dividend option as 29.85%, growth option as 27.51%? After all, in the growth option, the dividend was not declared and the whole money grew. Whereas in the dividend option, some money was taken away, the rest of the money grew, but the XIRR is higher. This is because you are making the mistake of assuming that it is an actual payout. It is not. In the case of XIRR methodology of calculating returns, only the transactions that the investor makes, the investments as well as redemptions, only that should be considered as payments and receipts. All other internal actions like dividends, stock splits, all other kind of corporate auctions, splits, whatever it is, everything should be treated as reinvested back. So the right way to do it is you make a transaction and that's entered as minus 10. The dividend is offered on 1st March. That's first you enter it as 2. Then you, in the simple case, you reinvest that 2 and put it back into the fund as minus 2. Then the NAV will grow to 15. And then the XIRR will be 27.51%, which is the same as the growth option. Of course, I have taken a simple case. There'll be small differences because of there'll be rounding of errors and so on. So this is the right way to calculate dividends. Nobody is willing to do this. They are very happy to calculate dividends in the wrong way, particularly stock investors. Forget mutual fund investors. Many mutual fund investors don't want dividend option. The majority want only growth. But particularly those who invest in stocks, they make this mistake because they think it is easy. And when I say you shouldn't do it, they say I don't care. That's how the world is. If you do this mistake of just assuming that you have taken this dividend in hand, then you will get a very different return. That return is wrong. You will get some number, but that number cannot be benchmarked. You cannot benchmark it to Nifty like I do in my monthly portfolios. You cannot benchmark it to even a fixed deposit, because you are calculating it wrongly, because you have taken a chunk of the final amount beforehand, and therefore obviously your return will be higher. It's just time value of money. See that 15 rupees, instead of suppose I invest on 1st January 2020 and say I will give you 15 rupees on September 2021. Instead of giving you 15 rupees, I give you 2 rupees on March 2020 itself, and 12.5 rupees later. Obviously, because of time value of money, returns will be higher. But that is wrong. That is not the way to compute the return of the instrument. Whether you reinvest the dividend or not, whether you keep it in your bank forever or not, that doesn't matter. The XIRR should be treated as the XIRR and the dividend option should be always computed by assuming that the dividends are reinvested. This is the SEBI rule, and that is the reason why dividend options, mutual fund returns are not published, because there's no need to publish them. They will be the same as the growth option. Stock investors, well, most of them will do what is lazy.